Oprah officially endorsed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz at the Democratic National Convention, but we got footage of the very same Oprah Winfrey saying just how much that she was in awe of former President Donald Trump. Ex-CEO and Tesla founder Elon Musk found the tape and called out Oprah on her flip-flop on Donald Trump. He posted it on X, How Times Change. Check it out.
You know, various celebrities in New York, because it was the opening concert in New York, and there were all kinds of celebrities, very, very famous people coming in to be seated, and that when you were seated, you got the loudest applause. People stood up and roared and cheered when you walked in. Why is that? What is this fascination?
I don't know, maybe I should be a rock star. By the way,
they thought you were going to moonwalk.
He was great, I have to say. No, I did get I don't know why. I really don't know why. I wish I could pinpoint it. I wish I could really tell you why. But I think I've done a good job in New York, and I've done a charitable job in a sense. And Trump Tower has become such a success, and it's as you and I were discussing, it's become the #1 attraction in New York now, Trump Tower. And I think people recognize it. New York people are really proud of it, and people.
So you've sort of become like a folk hero. I mean, people. There's someone in this audience. I was reading the audience list. Some man who's a businessman. You can tell me who you are later. Who went to New York and just wanted to stand by your building, hoping some of the luck would run off.
Is that true? Is he in this audience?
He's in this audience.
We have to find him.
Yeah. And so how do you explain that, or is there an explanation?
I believe that you make your own luck to a large extent.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Oprah's supporters, or should I say former supporters, were none too happy to hear her talk smack about former President Donald Trump when she used to love the man. Now, I've read people say that Oprah is garbage now, and they're choosing Trump over Oprah any day of the week. But pretty much like her presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, Oprah seems to show a pattern of flip-flopping back and forth whenever you get right down to it. I mean, just hear what she had to say about reproductive rights in America.
Freedom. There are people who want you to see our country as a nation of us against them, people who want to scare you, who want to rule you, people who'd have you believe that books are dangerous and assault rifles are safe, that there's a right way to worship and a wrong way to love. Because if you do not have autonomy over this, if you cannot control when and how you choose to bring your children into this world and how they are raised and supported, there is no American dream. And let us choose the sweet promise of tomorrow over the bitter return to yesterday. We won't go back. We won't be set back, pushed back, bullied back, kicked back. We're not going back.
Now, two things I want to bring up about this one. Number one, you just got to wonder how mothers feel when childless women talk about abortion. And two, Oprah once thanked her dying mom for not aborting her. Now she says, if you cannot control when and how you choose to bring your children into this world and how they are raised and supported, there is no American dream. And yet this same Oprah Winfrey in 2018 claimed she told her dying mother, thank you for not aborting her. So here's a quote, guys. I know it's been hard for you. It was hard for you as a young girl having a baby in Mississippi. No education, no training, no skills. 17 years old, you get pregnant with a baby. Lots of people would have told you to give that baby away. Lots of people would have told you to abort that baby. You didn't do that. I know that was hard. I want you to know that no matter what, I know you always did the best you knew how to. And look how it turned out. So now she's flip-flopping on what she said to her mother? Now that's something we need to talk about, guys. And honestly, guys, every one of these celebrities, didn't they all used to love Donald Trump? That is until he ran as a Republican. Case in point. All the nice things Oprah had to say about the man. She even said that he had the it factor at one point.
There's a vibe, there's an indescribable it factor that, I don't think you can teach. They don't teach it in the Wharton School of Business. It's not something you can even learn. There's just an it. Wouldn't you say, Donald?
That's true, folks. And I will tell you, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and I will say that I am sitting next to it. There is nobody ever that has had it.
If you did run for president, you believe you'd win?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, But I can tell you one thing, this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been.
But seriously, guys, what really shocked me the most was how Oprah even wrote a note about the two of them teaming up in an election. I know, it sounds fake, but it's not. Just look at her before and after right here.
Do you have a vice presidential candidate in mind?
Well, I really haven't gotten quite there yet.
It's
I guess
it's just
Oprah. I love Oprah. Oprah would always be my first choice.
Oprah.
Oprah, your competitor, right? Your
competitor. Oprah's a competitor.
You know what?
No
I'll tell you, she's really a great woman, though. She is a terrific woman. She's somebody that's very special. I have not even thought about it. I guess we'll see.
Donald Trump has released a book where he's published letters that he's received over the years. One of your letters is front and center.
I heard about that.
Okay, back in 2000, you wrote him, "Too bad we're not running for office. What a team."
I think he'd written a book and said that he wanted me to be his running mate.
If he decided to run.
If he decided to run. And when I heard that this letter is now going to be a part of a book, I thought, oh, wasn't that nice of me to write a note? That's what I thought. Because I'm always like, oh, I should write a note. The person did this, or I should write a note. So I'm really happy that I wrote a note.
It just shows you have good manners, but you're not thinking you and Donald Trump would be a team.
No.
You weren't thinking it
I
then,
might have
you're
thought
saying.
it back then. I might have thought it 23 years ago. Yes.
Are you thinking that today?
No, I'm not thinking.
Okay.
You want to clear that up, right?
Okay.
I feel that a lot of things are on the line, a lot of things are at stake. The freedoms that I have enjoyed, the successes that I have enjoyed, I feel that they're on the line and at stake in this moment. And I think there's the bottom line for me is that decency and respect are on the ballot.
But we are beyond ridiculous tweets and lies and foolery. These are complicated times, people, and they require adult conversation. You know this is true, that decency and respect are on the ballot in 2024.
I mean, like, with this kind of turnaround, guys, who's actually going to believe her now? I feel like she's lost all credibility. Can you believe that Oprah actually chose to make a surprise DNC appearance to rail against the man that she once considered running for office with? She talked about things like decency and respect are on the ballot in 2024 and how common sense tells you that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz can give us decency and respect. But the Trump team was ready. Shortly after Oprah's DNC speech, his campaign's War Room X account shared a private handwritten letter Oprah Winfrey sent to Donald Trump back in January 2000. She wrote, "Donald, I reviewed the book excerpt. I have to tell you, your comments made me a little weepy. It's one thing to try and live a life of integrity, still another to have people like yourself notice. Thank you." But at the bottom of the letter, Oprah Winfrey added, "Too bad we're not running for office." What a team. Trump actually included this Oprah letter in a book compiling 150 private letters. In the book, Letters to Trump, the former president wrote that he still regards Oprah Winfrey as amazing, but according to him, sadly, once he announced for president, she never spoke to him again. Honestly, I'm not even sure Donald Trump would even want to support her. Because like I've said before, show me your supporters and I'll tell you who you are. And the fact that Oprah was caught flip-flopping like this by Elon Musk, no less, it speaks volumes about her presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. What do you guys think? Drop a quick comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Oprah and the person that she's supporting. And while you guys are at it, don't forget to support the channel. Show some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. And thank you guys for always sharing this video with your friends and family. I totally appreciate you guys. I think we've got to get into Oprah's idea that children stand in the way of the American dream, because I think it's just plain wrong, guys. Now, speaking as a father myself, I think children are actually the ones that we build the American dream for. What do you guys say? Because think about it, guys. Aren't most of the things that adults do to create a brighter future done with children in mind? And abortion, critics say it kills innocent human beings who have the same right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and the American dream that their parents do. That with hard work and determination, anything is possible. The American dream is about achieving anything with hard work and determination, but abortion sort of suggests that a mother's dreams can't be realized unless she sacrifices her child's life, and that's just something that we need to seriously think about as a nation, because this doesn't just take away the child's future. It also robs the mother of the true essence of her own American dream. Take Oprah as an example. Her mother chose to value Oprah's life over her own perceived freedom, which allowed Oprah to grow up and achieve great success. But now, Oprah is using her platform, her own successful life, to promote the killing of other women's sons and daughters. This just makes me wonder, if she values her own life, why deny the opportunity to others? Now, I know abortion is a very difficult subject to discuss, so just let me say this. Abortion, in part, it sends a damaging message that women need to end their child's lives to succeed or to be equal to men. But see, men and women are already equal, and so are their children. Those who support abortion in the name of freedom aren't truly fighting for freedom, they're advocating for the literal death of other human beings. Calling the death of innocent beings freedom is as twisted as it gets, and we don't want any women being forced to get an abortion just because they feel pressured to do so. It's terrible to tell women that to reach their goals, they have to deny their children's values and sacrifice their lives. This mindset is no different from those who thought that they couldn't succeed without exploiting others, like slave owners who justify their actions as necessary for their own success. No woman owns their child, whether their child is born or unborn. No one should have the right to decide a child's life is unworthy, unwanted, or an obstacle to their dreams. And needless to say, adults have a responsibility to care for children and protect the most vulnerable. If we don't, the American dream itself, it's going to disappear. In reality, abortion often destroys the dreams of many women. The Live Action's Can't Stay Silent campaign revealed the deep regret and trauma women feel after having abortions. A study found that among women who took the abortion pill, 83% said they were changed by their abortions. 77% said that the change was negative. 77% said that they regretted their abortions. 60% reported feelings of isolation and alienation, and 38% reported problems with anxiety, depression, drug abuse, and or suicidal thoughts as a result of abortion. Research also shows that women who had abortions were far more likely to attempt suicide than women who gave birth. And women who have abortions have a higher risk of depression even if the baby was unwanted. Now, forget about Mother Oprah and all that. As Saint Mother Teresa told US leaders in 1994, any country that accepts abortion is not teaching its people to love, but to use violence to get what they want. That is why the greatest destroyer of love and peace is abortion. Decades later, abortion continues to destroy lives and peace in America. Oprah also mentioned in her speech, "We are Americans. Let us choose loyalty to the Constitution over loyalty to any individual because that's the best of America." And the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution is pretty clear. No state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. If America truly upheld its Constitution, then maybe Oprah should rethink her position. And to a greater extent, maybe she should rethink the candidate that she's supporting. What do you guys say? Now, speaking of, Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz have finally agreed to their first sit-down interview. The Democratic ticket will join CNN's Dana Bash for what's being called an extensive interview as they campaign in the battleground state of Georgia. Now, here's the catch, guys. The interview is going to be taped Thursday afternoon and will air on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in a primetime special, meaning they're going to have every opportunity to clean up Kamala's answers and have it ready for the viewing public by primetime. This is after a month of evading and avoiding the press. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't want to be answering live if I were her either. Kamala's going to have a lot to answer for, including several policy shifts that she has apparently undergone, according to anonymous campaign statements to the press. She's likely going to be asked to explain her sudden evolution on issues like fracking, border security, private healthcare insurance, all of which she took progressive stances on as presidential candidate in 2019. She's probably going to have to face tough questions about what she knew about Biden's mental decline behind the scenes, despite her defending him publicly and repeatedly after his disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump. Then, of course, there's Vice President candidate Tim Walz. He's going to have to face questions too, like the growing controversy surrounding his military service record, as well as his left-wing policies that he enacted as Minnesota's governor. Now, I just wonder if CNN is going to take it easy on them and how that edit is going to look after they're done with it. The Trump campaign seems to share the exact same sentiment as they responded to Kamala Harris's interview on X. They said 39 days since being installed as a Democratic nominee, Kamala will sit for her first formal interview. Joint, since she's not competent enough to do it on her own. Taped, so her handlers have time to play damage control. Trump senior advisor Jason Miller went even further, calling Harris a chicken to hide behind Tim Walz, knowing he'll get the tough questions on his doctored bio. Now, according to Miller, Harris can't even do one-on-one interviews, and not even live. It's taped so they can edit Harris. Unbelievable. But see, when it comes down to it, guys, they're not really moving the needle in any kind of meaningful way. The recent poll shows that nearly half, at 45%, think Kamala Harris's positions on the issues are too liberal, and the same number view Donald Trump as too conservative, while roughly equal numbers think each candidate's positions are about right. And people people still are not feeling that much better about the economy. Only 28% rate economic conditions positively. Now, sure, that is an improvement from the 19% who felt that way in August 2022, and just 1 point away from where things stood in the early days of Biden's term when 29% said that the economy was in good shape. But come on, guys, is 29% really the number to aim for? Plus, on the personal level, 43% rate the financial situation positively, the largest number in over 2 years. But that is worse by 10 points compared to Joe Biden's first year at 53% positive. I mean, what we should really be talking about here is the fact that significant majorities continue to give the national economy 73% and their personal financial situation 57% negative ratings. This is horrible. These numbers are really the ones that matter right now, and the economy is clearly the top priority for voters, guys. 38% of people are saying it will be the single most important issue in the vote for the presidency this 2024. Next comes immigration and abortion, tied at 14% each, with all other issues tested in the single digits. And guess what, guys? I really don't think it comes as a surprise to us here in our community that by a 6-point margin, more and more voters trust Donald Trump to handle the economy more than Harris. He had double-digit leads over Biden in the economy in 3 of the last 4 Fox News surveys. Voters also give Donald Trump the nod on handling border security by 19 points, immigration plus 14, foreign policy plus 7, and crime plus 5. And remember, guys, they're still not talking about the very real fact that historically, these polls have always underestimated Donald Trump in a big way. They even tried correcting for this last time, but still, when the actual 2020 election rolled around, polls yielded the highest error margins in 40 years. Again, underestimating Donald Trump's support. As retired U.S. General Wesley Clark pointed out in a recent podcast, Trump is not to be underestimated as a politician. In that very same interview, Clark was asked about Donald Trump's appeal to military veterans and voters. He said Trump comes in with an advantage for the veterans vote simply because he's masculine. He talks tough, and so a certain number of people are gonna like that. And things are about to get a whole lot more interesting, guys, as according to a Trump campaign senior advisor, they're certainly gonna have key people in the battlegrounds and available to the media to counter program while the Democratic National Convention is happening next week. In fact, they've already let one of their names slip. Republican National Committee Chair Michael Wadley. And according to Donald Trump, he's competing a lot and added that he would further pick up the pace after their convention. Their plans focus even more on branding their ultra-liberal and spotlighting her stance on the border, crime, and inflation. And you gotta see the campaign stops. I swear, Trump is like a racehorse with his stamina. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, that's just in 1 week. His running mate, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, is holding campaign events too in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Trump even returned to X, formerly known as Twitter, where he posted a series of campaign videos leading up to his interview hours later with Elon Musk, who officially endorsed the former president before this. And according to Donald Trump's campaign, the former president's return to X isn't a one-off this time around. A Trump campaign senior advisor emphasized that moving forward, they're going to continue to see a lot of alternative platform work. They promised Trump on X talking to millions of people. You'll see him on all kinds of conversational podcasts and streams coming up for the rest of the campaign. And he'll still be doing, as he always does, press availabilities, and he will obviously be, keep doing rallies and special large audience events. As one of his campaign advisors said, whether it's on X or any of these other things, the president is unafraid of having unscripted conversations about the issues that matter, in stark contrast to Kamala Harris. I mean, you could see the impact with just one interview. Even with the technical difficulties, which delayed the interview with Elon Musk for over 40 minutes, Donald Trump gained over 900,000 new followers on X as of Monday night. Dan Eberhardt commented on this. He's an oil and drilling chief executive office, aka CEO, and a prominent Republican donator and bundler who raises big bucks for Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign and who is supporting Donald Trump again after backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the GOP presidential primaries. I mean, honestly, can you believe this, guys? Well, you can be sure that we will be tuning into that interview, and we'll also be giving our own take apart from the mainstream media, right, guys? So who's with me? Just make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and tap that notification bell. That way you do not miss out on our video when it drops. Meanwhile, I have another one lined up for you guys. This one's about former President Donald Trump risking his life when he left the bulletproof enclosure at his recent rally to help a supporter who needed medical attention. Now that showed me some guts, guys, and some heart. Definitely check that video out after this one. As always, thank you for liking this video. Thank you for sharing this video on Facebook and Twitter. I'll see you on the next one.